just tuning in, I am Mike Watson, the publisher of Freestyle Comics, and the host of this show that we call Chat and Draw, a show where we chat and draw.
No, I now retired, but I started in 1974 at Disney Studios, Disney Feature Studios. Moved over to what was then called WED. Now you would know it as Imagineering, and designed rides for Epcot with Ward Kimball on the Transportation Pavilion and Tony Baxter on the Imagination Pavilion. And then I was kind of one of the founding fathers of Disney TV animation. And I talked to the guy who I had met at the TV animation meeting and saying, "Hey, do you have any freelance storyboarding?" And he looked at me and said, "Oh, you don't want to freelance? Why don't you come over and visit us?" And as he showed me around when I was visiting, he was like, "Yeah, Dad will be coming over here." I am. And technically I started in management, but then quickly switched to the creative side where I always felt I belonged. Well, I mean, it started when I was a kid. I mean, real young. He graduated in the Depression, so it was more about getting a job than chasing your dreams kind of thing. But because of that, he had all sorts of art books, including the famous artist cartoonist course. He had books on animation. So I grew up with those. I was looking through those like they were comic books. And I just love cartoons. I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, so I was just immersed in all that. And then as far as Saturday morning, just watched everything I could. And again, because my dad had this, I mean, he ended up in advertising, but because he had that cartoonist desire and interest, he supported me, bought me in one of our trips to Disneyland, The Art of Animation by Bob Thomas. And many of the guys in those pictures were people I ended up working with, years later. But I ended up at Disney because I fell in love. When I was in high school, I thought the only place worth working for in animation was Disney. What I meant by only one place was worth working, they were the only people doing full animation in the United States. And Disney did still have, a lot of the veteran animators that Walt hired were still working there. However, by the time I graduated college, they had started a training program, which was basically one guy, Eric Larson, and the review board would look at portfolios coming in, pick somebody, and then they had 4 weeks to turn out an animated test to see if they survived into a second 4 weeks. And if you survived that, they threw you into production as an in-betweener.